Good to see everybody back. I'm just doing this recording. I wanted to break down this video that Court TV did, and I don't agree on. So my camera will probably not be on, but I'm going to go over this video, and we're going to talk about it. So let me share my screen, and we'll get right on it.
I'm Vinny Politan. The subject of my investigation is the disappearance of a 5-year-old little girl from Tennessee. Her name is Summer Wells, and what makes this one so puzzling is that it happened in the middle of the day from her home when there were adults at the house. Here's her story. 5-year-old Summer Wells was growing up in rural northeastern Tennessee, a beautiful part of the country where nature runs free and folks own lots of land, free of buildings and neighbors. Summer was living with her parents and siblings and grandma in a home on top of a hill, a place that seems very peaceful, very quiet, and most of all, very safe. But one June day in 2021, her family says she went inside and was never seen or heard from again, seemingly vanishing from this vast property in Hawkins County. There are many questions that have been unanswered in this case, questions that could shed some light on where this little girl is and what happened to her. We will examine those questions and find some answers as the search for this little girl from Tennessee.
All right, so first off, what I want everybody to pay attention to is, of course, the one guest that's always going to be on here is yours truly, Chris McDonough. But there's a lot of things that are said that are not accurate. And I paid attention to this video literally 10 minutes the other day. And picked out so many things that were not accurate. And you'll catch on and probably point them out, or we'll do it together. But just continue to watch.
Continues. So this goes back to 2021. I mean, super high profile story and case, still unsolved. I want you to take a look at an image, and they do age progressions. She disappeared when she was 5. So they put together a progression last summer of what she would look like.
My honest opinion is this looks nothing like Summer Wells at all. You'll have people that think so, but that little girl's face is completely not the same. And honestly, I don't think they got her beauty as well as they should have. But, it's my opinion. And probably many of yours as well. But, moving on.
At this new age, 3 years later. So you look at those pictures and it brings to mind, beautiful little girl. But what happened here? Which brings us to really the most important question. And my first question tonight, which is about this little girl from Tennessee. Where could she be? It seems there's a lot of possibilities of what happened here. And the case is far from being solved. I don't even know if there's any hot leads right now in this one. Let me bring in my guests who know a lot about this story, a lot about this investigation. Former homicide detective, host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us, and private investigator Jason Jensen. Thank you to you both. Chris, let me throw that question out to you first. Where could she be? What are the possibilities that we're looking at here?
Yeah, it's a great question, Vinny. And for the last 3 years, thousands of people have been asking that particular question. And the possibilities from obviously a law enforcement perspective is, is it foul play? Is it an accident? And, because there was an accident, could they have covered up something? There's so many theories that could be applied to this. But that is the $1 million question at this point. Because you and I both know that 5-year-olds, they just don't vanish from their house.
No, there's some intervening action, force, something. I want to take a look.
That's exactly right. 5-year-olds do not vanish from their home. But also, when you live in the countryside like that, there are other mitigating factors like grandma and mom might have fell asleep and Summer took off and played by herself. We don't know if that's something she did regularly, or there's endless things that I still felt like weren't 100% really looking into the way that they were supposed to. But you're going to hear here in just a second by not Chris McDonough, but the other fellow, Mr. Jensen here, about the parents passing the polygraphs, and he makes a lot of sense.
Jason, at a timeline, 2021, Summer Wells is reported missing around 6:30 p.m. Last seen somewhere around her home, outside her home. June 17th, the search expands to cover a 1-mile radius surrounding the home. June 26th, TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, looks for a red Toyota pickup seen in an area where Summer disappeared. Could have seen or heard something. June 26, 2021, Summer's brothers are removed from the home by the Department of Children's Services. October 31st, 2021, Don Wells, her father, is arrested for driving under the influence. February 4th, 2022, Summer's 6th birthday. February 4th, 2023, Summer's 7th birthday. June 14th, 2023, TBI released the age progressed photos that we're showing you. Then February 4th, 2024, Summer's 8th birthday. Then June 14th, 2024, TBI released a video update on the case. I want to take a look at that right now. Let's take a look.
When I see the picture of Summer Wells, I see my daughter. And I can tell you that if my daughter was missing, I would sure hope that somebody was looking for her every day. My name is Josh Melton. I'm the Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigation Division for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. We don't have the evidence in this case to know for sure whether or not Summer was abducted or whether or not she walked away from her home and became lost. It's really important to us to not focus all of our efforts on just one of those two.
All right, Jason Jensen, you've investigated so many cases like this. Where are you starting? What strikes you about the attempt to get to the truth here and get to the answer of where she could be?
Yeah, but the most important thing is to keep an open mind. Like the director just said, is they don't know which theory. There's really basically only 3 things that can happen in a disappearance involving a small child like that, either a wander off or an abduction or a death and concealment. They've ruled out the death and concealment pretty much by doing the polygraph.
Right there, for once, finally, somebody on Court TV clarifies that both parents passed their polygraph test. That speaks volumes. That rolls out the death and concealment theory right there. So there should be a lot of people that are apologizing after hearing that little tidbit of information.
So we're really focusing on whether this child wandered off, got lost, and something happened to the. That's why they did the mile radius search finder. We do know that this stuff, this situation, like the case of Rachel Runyon, she was abducted 15 feet from behind her home, so it can happen.
Let's get Chris. The red Toyota pickup. What do we know about something that law enforcement talked about?
Well, first of all, the red Toyota pickup was introduced by the father.
And that right there is absolutely not true. That was just said by Mr. McDonough. The red Toyota pickup truck was not introduced by the father. It was introduced by a delivery driver who did not know which day it was, whether it had been the June 14th, 13th, or 15th. That was introduced by a delivery driver that was well acquainted with the local police. So that's not accurate that he is stating right there.
It wasn't an independent witness or anything like that. The dad says, there's been a vehicle down at the end of the driveway, et cetera. And so we have to take into consideration, what's the geographic region telling you as an investigating the basement of the house. And so in order for a stranger abduction to have occurred on that particular day, at that moment, that child would be in that basement.
Again, that's hearsay that child was in that basement. We don't know if the polygraph test, the person conducting that test asked Candace if she really did see her in that basement or really did or really was told that Summer went down to play with her toys. Maybe she fell asleep. Maybe Grandma fell asleep. Maybe Summer went out and played, and then somewhere on that property was the perfect storm for somebody to have abducted her. There's a lot of what ifs and there's a lot of hearsays in this. But one thing is for sure is they did pass their polygraphs, and the other thing is for sure that Don Wells did not introduce the red Toyota pickup truck.
The victim risk continuum tells us that is a high improbability. And so you then go back to the situation where you go, okay, who was the last one there and what are the circumstances around that? And I think that's interesting.
Jason, there are stories that happen in areas, it's a neighborhood like Sebastian Rod, Tennessee, or in Nashville, or any rural area. There, it's not like you're in a neighborhood. There's not a lot of folks nearby. If someone comes by, I think you might notice it. It reminds me a little bit of the situation with Suzanne and Barry Morphew. Suzanne Morphew went missing from her home. They were kind of isolated as well. The where all this allegedly took place.
Well, yeah, terrain, especially in rural areas, plays a major part. Like basically, this was alluded to. If it's active and high access, you're not going to have a lot of access by strangers. So the problem we have here is, how did she get away from the house without being detected? Because in rural areas, everybody knows if there's a car nearby, you're driving down the street, you see a truck pulled over to the side. In those kind of communities, they want to pull over and offer assistance. So to the home, access to the child is really going to play a big part here. And that's early on, there was a lot of harassment received by the Wells because everybody thought it was a low probability that, was an abduction.
Okay, guests are staying with us. Coming up next, what does the family property actually?
All right, exactly. What does the family property actually look like? Is what's uh, the next part of this segment, I guess. So I can definitely show you that. Hold tight just a second. We'll pull that up. Yeah, give me just a second, and I will grab that for you immediately. We'll go into the video here. I got it right here for you, actually. Yeah, right here. Here, it's downloading right now. This right here, this footage is going to show you quite a bit. Quite a bit. And
here's the path that goes down to the school bus. Here's a little gravel path. This has all been not recorded on record. And this needs to be seen. I'm walking all the way down here to where this meets the driveway. Again, people could easily come up through here. Here's the driveway. You park down here. This is going down to the road. You can't even see the house here. Here's the building from the previous trail I walked that goes down to the shed down at the bottom of the hill with the shooting house.
okay, and that's walking straight down to where the school bus is, right? Let's see what else I have right here. I can present for you guys. This right here. Let's get a better one here. That's just an image of the back door. Let's open it though. Go ahead and check this out real quick. Let's see if I can move that back quite a bit. So this is the back door where she allegedly vanished from. Now let me see if I can go through that really slow. Now this is supposed to be the path, but she was taken down by the first let's see, the first speculations of her disappearance. This is the path that runs down. It's what's called the dog trail. And it went really fast when I recorded it. So actually, I'm going to remove that one. And I'm going to see if I can't find you one more good one here. And then we'll move on with the presentation here. Okay. Okay, this one here. This is walking from the house down to where the bus is sitting. The little shortcut to the road, or to the driveway that cuts down to the road. It's loading. Bear with me. And
I'm coming down from the house down here. I want to make it known that once the driveway hits right there, you can't see nothing over that little ridge. You can't even hear Don. He just went down the driveway. You can't hear nothing right there. You can't hear nothing when he pulled up. I'm coming down through here. This is another path. That comes down here to the school bus. This is a little platform area. All right, here's a little platform area down where the bus is. That hasn't been seen. This is back here. The dog trail runs back down there. This is back behind the school.
and for that little area right there, that's a perfect place for somebody who definitely didn't have to be a stranger. Anybody that knew this property that could lay in wait right here, or if this was a place that Summer liked to play, and somebody who was familiar with the property knew that. There's nobody there to see her be taken if that's what happened, or anything. I mean, it's possibilities are endless. Let's watch the rest.
School bus. There's this old part of a jungle gym. There's another trail that comes down right from the driveway. Right there, that's the other one. And this is this one. Oh, there's a path that goes all the way down through here too to the driveway. Here's a path.
But that's the property. Let's go back to Court TV with Chris McDunn and Benny, whatever his name is from Court TV. Excuse me, Vinny Politan.
I'm looking at this terrain. There's a million possibilities here.
Yeah, there's
down there, and there's the road down there.
Did you know that in middle income communities there are about 13 books for every child?
But in some underserved communities,
There's only one book for every 300 children.
studies show that books at home
In this area.
They could have been sitting anywhere. They could have been sitting over here, off the little edge right here, or where the bus is, that little bushy area right there. They could have been sitting
Right out here.
Yeah.
Okay, come show me. That's all right.
And I just recently found out that there was I guess he's a child molester.
Okay.
That lives literally 8 minutes from my house, and he can literally walk from his house into my house within 8 minutes.
Okay.
And that bushy area right there, you can't really tell if anybody's crouched down there. Anything.
That's Chris McDonough at the home with Summerwell's mother, walking the property, trying to figure out what's going on there, because this is a case where a child is alleged to have disappeared in the middle of the day from that property, which brings me to my next question, another important one in this investigation, which is, what does the family property look like? Still with me, Chris McDonough, who was touring the property along with Jason Jensen. So guys, what I want to do, Chris, I want to show everyone the tour that you did. I think it gives us incredible insight here. Let's take a look.
Hey. You know, I have much more respect for what you're telling me by standing here.
Yeah.
And I got my little camera here, so when I'm looking at this terrain, and I'm going, holy cow, she could have even. There's a million possibilities here.
Yeah, there's
down there, and there's the road down there.
Yeah, that's the road. And that's my mom's house.
Okay.
Literally, it's.
And this right here.
Usually, you can the road because they have went through here and mowed and down a bunch of stuff from power line. Usually, it's full.
That day, though, how was it? Was it fold up, or was it like
that day and a few days prior, they were working on this.
Okay.
So I've even come to the conclusion maybe one of them people.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I see those. I see the tracks there.
Yep. And they were all the way to my.
Okay.
Just to talk about the tree cutters theory, there was one of the workers that went home early and had drove his own vehicle to work the day she went missing. How much law enforcement did as far as investigating that, I have no idea. But that is truthful that Candace is saying. Another thing is, the dogs, of course, are barking like they are right now because Chris McDonough himself has a dog with him. He's walking around towards them, pointing a camera at them. I know from experience that they didn't like that. Again, if the shoe fits, wear it. I don't know who's guilty, but I know that they both passed their polygraphs, and by they both, I'm meaning the parents.
And you told TBI all this, right?
I've told TBI this, yes.
Okay. And yeah, I can see the cars going by. That is not far from your property.
Mm-mm.
Is there a holler down there? I mean, is there a river of some sort?
The creek runs all the way around the property.
And how deep is the creek? Okay, just so it's like an inch.
Yeah.
Or two. Okay.
You'd be lucky to get wet enough to do anything.
Okay. So walk me through. Size down, by the way.
No.
Okay.
I parked the truck and I opened both doors. It's really hard because this lawnmower is. But I opened the doors up and I shook her. I said, "What? We're at home." She jumped right up.
Okay.
Like nothing. I unbuckled her and I said, "Come on." I said, "Mom, I'll be right back." Well, went in there and got the boys and they were sitting at the table. And I said, "Come on, let's get the groceries out." And we brought them all in the house, went through them all, did all that.
And this is that's her swing.
That's her swing right there.
Come show me her swing. Why is this, and who's this?
That is Smoking Boots. That's my boys' cat.
And how many dogs do you have here on the property? About?
Honestly, I don't know because...
I know. Okay. Sorry. So this is her swing.
That's her swing.
This is her playground.
Yep.
She loved this area. Boy, I'm looking at this, and this terrain, Candace, just strikes me as being so dense and just. Is that what they say, the dog trail? Where's this dog trail thing? That
I'm not sure, honestly.
There's some we were pulling up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do that all the time.
Okay.
That trail right there, my boys, they ride those dirt bikes that are leaning against the truck over there.
Okay.
He gets one of them.
Okay.
And they ride
Those 50 cc's aren't
yeah,
they?
that one's about 20.
Okay.
But yeah, they go down that trail with their dirt bikes and then come back up on the road, up on the driveway and go around and stuff.
That video. So, Chris, what did you take away from touring that property where Summer Wells allegedly disappeared from?
Yep. So, wanting to keep an open mind, right, Vinny, when I'm talking to Mom, about trying to understand what the suspect may have seen if this was, let's stay the length, an abduction of some sort. And the terrain is so thick and dense. And by the way, this is only about 3 weeks after the initial report of her disappearance. So this is pretty much what it looked like the day she disappeared. And so I to myself, okay, is it possible that somebody could have come up behind, that area there behind the camper? Because you can see the road from the top of the property. Expose themselves down on that road because you could even hear cars going by while I was there. And so Mom then explains that the only way she thought her daughter may have gone out of that house was through a basement door, which was on the left side of that house looking at it in this shot. It would have been to the left of that. And that was down by the bus and right in that area, right there in that shot. That would have been what they call the dog trail. And so
that is also not true. That area right there that you're looking at with the bus and stuff is not the dog trail. The dog trail is what I showed you earlier, going right across from the back bottom door and straight down and around to Ben Hill Road. The road behind the camper is Beach Creek Road, and then there's another trail that comes down right to the bottom of the property where the shed at the bottom of the property on Beach Creek connects to. So that's not accurate either, they say.
Would have had to navigate all of these obstacles, et cetera, and that's the door, and get into that door to where Summer was. It really does raise a lot of questions about the abduction theory.
Jensen, the one thing that struck me as Chris walking on the nice guy, don't harm anyone, they don't even know how many dogs. The dogs are alerting to Chris, who is obviously in a friendly mode there. What are your thoughts about the dogs on that property and the prospects of a little girl wandering away without the dogs alerting, or someone taking her without the dogs alerting?
We were on the same mindset when I was watching the video, from Chris. The thing that struck me the most was how many dogs were there. So obviously, anytime a stranger would approach the home, I'm sure the dogs would bark at him, or at least gather down. Down. Dogs will go down and treat somebody with. Certainly, the first moment they're shocked by a stranger coming through the woods, be barking, alerting the owners, I'm sure, is what the typical ones are. I own dogs, and that's what my dog, anytime someone approaches the front of the house. I would think that in order to be a viable abduction scenario, she'd have to wander off, like little girls do, chasing a butterfly or something, find herself far enough away from the home that she encounters that it'd be there. That's about the only thing I can think of.
And Chris, with that scenario, going back to the property here, like, I could see that happening in a much more densely populated place. You're at a park, you're at a mall, a child wanders off and cooped up, right? But here it's like there's a little more isolation. So someone would have to be lying in wait and just hoping that the child wanders away.
Yeah, absolutely, Vinny. And what you and Jason are talking about, just going back to the dogs for a second, when I pulled up, I counted them. There were about 16 dogs that came out of the woods.
16 when you pulled up?
When I pulled up, there were 16. And I asked her, where are all these dogs coming from? And Mom said that folks in the area just drop the dogs off in the neighborhood, and they all come up to that property.
Okay. That is incredible. All right, Jason. So there are other possibilities here. Without pointing a finger at anyone, but if something happened to her and someone wanted to dispose of those remains in that terrain, do you think it would survive the level of search was done?
I would think initially, because the scent of cadavers isn't so strong with a fresh death. But as time goes on, certainly cadaver dogs could pick up the scent. So, but initially you're looking for displaced soil where you could see that there was, some shoveling or something and replacement of soil or disturbance of vegetation. If there was some kind of clandestine burial than that, and which is they've certainly moved on to other areas, including doing polygraphs. So it really kind of narrows it down. If it's not the parents doing some kind of concealment or some other hostile force, it's somebody from outside the home. And then the question really gets vague, who could that be?
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your help. Wow. Children don't just disappear. I'm Vinny Palte, and we'll keep digging for answers as the investigation continues.
So yeah, basically that's what I wanted to show you and come on here real quick and just break this down a little bit. Put your thoughts in the comments below. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to us. Just wanted to do a refresher video on Summer Wells. It's been a while. I hope you watch this. I hope you get something from it. We have lots more that we can add in on this. But that's about all I got right now. Lots of love to you guys. Thank y'all for the support, and we will catch you on the next time. Till next time, keep on cracking, and God bless. We'll see you whenever we see you.